So you've grafted away and you've built yourself a lovely new cockpit, but now it's time to mount the seat. Well, unfortunately, you've now hit the trickiest part of the build. If you're anything like Jimmy Bobbin or many others, you might just have the sliders the wrong way around, the sliders upside down, you might not be able to move the sliders, you might not even have any sliders on at all. Well, do not fear, Nick is here and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find maybe a table or some way to rest the seat upside down. So just turn it around. Trust me, this makes things so much easier. If you have a bucket seat, you're going to have to attach on these side brackets. In the side bracket, you want to find the ones that are flatter and longer, and they're going to go at the front, just like this. You also want to find these bolts, and these are going to help you out. Now you can really mount in any of these holes and it just gives you a bit of adjustability for tilt. The way that I like to have it is I like to have the front of the seat as high as possible and the back as low as possible. This means that you just kind of fall into your seat a wee bit. So that's how I'm going to mount it. So you're just going to take your screw and you're just going to simply screw in to the seat. For now you just want a finger screw and then you can tighten it up after. So as you can see there's a little hole here and you're just lining it up with where you want it and then you can just screw it in. And then just tighten with your Allen key. So you want it to be fairly tight, but you don't want to go too tight because otherwise you could start cracking the fiberglass. Now you're just attaching the other side piece on to the other side. Again, just to screw in as well. Right guys, you have reached Nick's slider TED Talk. I'm going to take you through this because I know a lot of people struggle with the sliders. There are two sides to the slider. You've got one side that's completely flat, and then you've got a side that is the slidey bit, is the way I like to call it. It's just the bit that moves. The flat side has the lever attached to it. This lovely silver lever is what makes it move. Watch this. If you push this lever, you can then pull the slider. It's a little tricky, but if you push down on this lever, this is what makes the slider move. See this silver bit? Push down on it. And if you use your chest, I sometimes use my chest because it can be a bit easier, you can push along. I've also found it quite easy to use an Allen key. If you just take your Allen key and you put it through one of the holes, then when you push down on the lever, you can just pull the Allen key. The flat side with the lever is what attaches to the chair, and the non-flat side is what attaches to the cockpit. The reason for this is because we want the lever to stay with the chair. So I've seen that people have got a setup where they've got to pull the lever and then their chair moves forward and then the lever just stays behind. So if your lever isn't staying with the chair, then that's why. It's because you've got them upside down. So just to reiterate, the flat side with the lever attaches to the chair and the non-flat side attaches to the cockpit. For the next part of the build, you need to grab these profile pieces from your cockpit. If you've got a prime, these are exactly what these are going to look like. If you've got a prime light, it's going to be double the height and a little bit shorter. If you haven't done so already, make sure to add on these corner pieces. Simply all you need is a T-nut, a bolt and a corner piece, and you need to do it on both sides of the profile piece like so. And do it for the other one as well. So they're both looking like this, ready to go onto the... And there goes my audio. So I'm going to voice over this bit for you guys. You want to grab yourself two T-nuts and you're putting them in the top part of the profile piece. One on each side like you can see on the screen. Then you want to do the same for the other profile piece. Again, two T-nuts, one on each side. Now we're attaching the sliders to the profile pieces. Make sure you're attaching the slidey, non-flat side of the slider to the profile piece. Grab an M8 bolt and screw in using any of the holes on the slider. Once you've made that bolt as tight as you can, press down on the silver lever to slide the top part along. This slides us into the screw on the other side of the slider. Push the T-bolt along and line it up. Then screw in like before. Make sure both of the bolts are as tight as you can possibly make them. Now we're doing the exact same for the other slider. Make sure to line up both the sliders so they are even on both sides. You want both sliders to be the same distance to the end of the profile pieces. Otherwise your seat will be off center. Add in your bolt and tighten, then slide the top part along using the lever and add in your other bolt. Make sure the bolts are as tight as you can possibly make them. Now it is time to attach the slider onto the chair. What you want to make sure is you want to make sure that this part, this flat piece, is facing the front. So the way that we're setting up, we've got the two flat pieces at the top of the front of the chair and they're coming in so they're both facing each other for us to then add on our bar. Please take a bit of time to make sure that you've got these flat pieces at the front and make sure, for the love of God, that you've got the sliders the right way around. You should have the flat piece that is going to go on to the chair and the flat piece that is going to go onto the chair. Now you want to find an M8 bolt and a nut, and we're going to have one here, one here, one here, and one here. You can attach it to any of these parts, wherever you want, just as long as they're the same on both sides. So I'm going to be putting the front hole and the top hole And that just means that I know exactly which one it's going in for the other side. So again, making sure you've got it the right way. So I'm taking my bolt, I'm going up, and then I'm just finding the hole and I'm placing it on top. Now take your nut, using your finger to just get it caught on. Once it's caught on, you can just get yourself the big Allen key and you're just gonna come from the bottom, tighten it up. You can move it all the way to the left and all the way to the right. Just so that they're gonna be the same on both sides, I'm gonna move them both to the inside. So now we've got this first bolt in, what you wanna do is you wanna push the lever and let's slide it up as far as you can. It should go just that little bit further if you give it a good shunt. So since I've mounted the side piece really low down at the back, it's a little bit tight to get into to put that screw in. Don't worry, all we can do is just unscrew the side piece and give it a little bit more slack. And this is gonna make it nice and easy for us to get into this. Now you wanna have a look inside here for the second hole that's gonna fit for us. Take your screw, go from the bottom, and you can see it just poking right through right there. I'm gonna slide the bolt in. Might be a little bit tricky, but if you just get it latched on, then it should be quite easy to tighten it up. So I hope you can just see in there what I've done is I've just got the bolt on and now I can tighten from the bottom. So before you fully tighten up the screw, as you can see, this one's a little bit lopsided. Just make sure that you've got it the same distance on the front and back so that it's going to be straight. Otherwise, once you've set up, you're going to see that your chair's a little bit squint. And now we can just fully tighten this up. Get it as tight as you possibly can because you don't want to come back to this stage. And do the same on the front. Just give it an extra tighten on the front as well. And there you are. You have one of your sliders fully on. If you did take this part off, just put it back on again on the side. Making it extra tight. Now we're going to be doing the exact same on the other side. Again, make sure you've got the metal piece in the inside. Let's just make sure we're putting the screws in the same holes as this one. Top screw in the top one, just so I don't forget. You're just going to take your screw, you're going to go through the bottom, and then just put that slider on top. Grab your bolt, and you're just placing it on top, and just screwing it down with your finger until it's tight enough to lock on. Then you're grabbing your Allen key, and you're going to tighten from the bottom. So then again, we're pushing that lever in to then slide it all the way up. Then we're just going to go down to the bottom one. So again, since I've got it quite tight in here, I'm just going to loosen this off, take this out, just so I can get under and get a better view at this. And again, just taking your screw and you're going to come from the bottom and just slide that bolt in there, just using your finger. If you can just get it to catch on. Once it's been finger screwed in, you can then tighten from the bottom. And that's you. Now you've got two sliders on. All we have to do is just attach this part back, just screwing this side back on. So now you want to take your handle and you're looking to get the two holes here to go into these two holes here. So just line it up. Now it might be a little tricky, but you want to just line it up with the other two on the other side. Now we're ready to put this on a cockpit. So in this situation, the corner brackets on the outside isn't going to work. So all I've got to do is just move the corner brackets to the inside and then I'll be able to mount it all the exact way I want it. So after unscrewing the corner bracket, it can slip right off and I can slip it right onto the other side. And this means that it's going to fit in right here. So again, all I've had to do is I've just had to move all these corner brackets from the outside into the inside so that I can get it to mount. So now that's fixed, we can move this right on to the cockpit. So now you want to push your T-bolt along and you're just going to screw this in. I recommend just finger screwing it in. Now just give this an extra tighten so that it won't move when we then slide it along. I'm just taking the T-nut and I'm going to push it in a little bit so I can then get my screw in from the top. Just screw in and tighten it all up so that they're not going to move when we slide this along. Now that we've attached both the corner brackets, we can just pull up on the lever and slide our chair forward. Just slide the T-bolt underneath so then you can take your screw and get these two back corner pieces in just the same as the front. Give them a good tighten. So once that one's in, we just got to do the other side. And then just doing the exact same for this corner bracket. Get the bolt in. Now make sure to tighten both these so it doesn't move. And then that's you. You're all good to go. You're done. Now that your seat's on, just make sure it's nice and sturdy. If it's not, you might have to go back and then tighten those bolts. And there you are. You've got your seat on and you're ready to race. If this video was helpful, give a wee like below. If you're struggling with anything else, leave a little comment below and I'll help you out. Thanks for watching, guys.